having fun with the new ships that Wargaming gave us.
Yeah.
Well, when you get more time to test the Russian ships, I think you might like them, actually.
Yeah, I've been trying. They're definitely fun to play. We'll have to see what Wargaming does with them. In the meantime, how are you enjoying the carrier rework?
Still needs a lot of work. There's... It feels like some of the issues that Wargaming fixed in the old CVs kind of came back. Most notably matchmaking. So this
Yeah.
is the Ranger gameplay?
Yes, sir.
This one was actually because this was actually when I was streaming. One of my viewers wanted me to do a Ranger gameplay because he was struggling with it, so I decided to play a few Ranger games, see if I can help him out.
Cool.
This one has a 10-point captain, so pretty much the bare minimum. I do have all the upgrades though.
And you're running
Yeah.
just the flood flag, it seems.
Yep.
Now, the game's going to be about 20 seconds ahead of what you see on the stream, so if there's something important you want me to highlight, feel free to tell me to pause it or whatever, and that way you can catch up.
Okay.
So you're starting with the rocket, huh?
Mm-hmm. Reason why I always start with the rockets because they have the fastest speed. So I can quickly zoom over to the enemy spawn, see where everyone is going, and also I consider them more expendable than the torpedoes and the bombs. So in the event I run into a heavy AA ship, I don't mind losing my rockets.
Yeah, those are both fair points. You're in a tier 7 game, so your middle tier, and you don't really have much to worry about in terms of battleship anti-air. I guess the Duke of York.
Duke of York is notable. Gneisenau I think has pretty good AA. Helena also has pretty good AA. Nicholas can be a threat if he puts on the FAA, but yes, that's pretty much all of the threats. Always do that in a carrier first. Take a look at which ships have enough AA to threaten you.
And obviously do your best to avoid them. Now here
Not
you end
always
up...
possible. Yep.
Yep, and here you end up kind of stuck in the whole group, huh?
Yes. I saved the boosts for that, for just that purpose. I hit the the French ship, and then I run away.
Interesting you turn back in, though. I mean, your planes are now at about half health.
I don't mind. As I said, the rocket planes are relatively expendable, so unless I know there's like a lot of AA ships nearby, then I don't mind just using the rockets.
Gotcha. Sorry, Claptrap, I'm not going to pause for your pee break.
So I noticed the Emerald was moving up without support, so that's why I brought up the dive bombers. Torpedo bombers are still best used for battleships, and they're still somewhat in the back, so I want to hit the ships that are coming up front first.
Yeah, and ironically enough, both Emeralds are coming up front.
I was thinking of taking the one on B, but I was closer to the one on C, so I might as well hit him first.
And he didn't stop. And slamming the Citadel.
I feel sorry for the Emerald. Like, I really didn't expect to hit the Citadel on that one. I dropped my fighter there to try and get the enemy's fighter off of me, and it worked, actually. Second run, I saw that Omaha was relatively isolated, so I went for him next.
Makes perfect sense. Because the Emerald is still in the smoke, so there's no point in waiting for that.
I was also tempted to go after the Julius Cesare, but the way that the planes would have exited would have guaranteed death, so I was thinking maybe I could strike the Omaha, but I got too close to Cesare anyway, so I lost everything.
And that's a good consideration to have, is where are my planes going to be after the attack, right?
Mm-hmm. When you're striking, you also want to make sure that your exit vector is into a high AA ship. Otherwise, you're going to lose everything.
Mm-hmm. Hey, CrossFit. CrossFit, you won
So
last
since
time,
the
but you
Cesare
didn't
was
claim
moving
your
up,
code.
I
Let me give it to you.
decided to take out the Devastators for this. Wasn't too concerned on the seaside since I didn't expect much action to happen, and having a battleship in the cap like that is very tempting, honestly.
Especially with carriers and everything like that. I mean, you've got the ability to at least give him something else to think about.
Mm-hmm. When ships, when they're fighting each other, they're generally pretty distracted. This includes even before the CVV work. So
Right.
if you can hit distracted ships, they're much easier to do damage on. Since the Emerald was just in the right position, I decided to go attack. Unfortunately, I missed the shot because I forgot that I didn't run torpedo acceleration on the Devastator, so the torpedo falls short.
Ah, yeah. Warp acceleration is very helpful on these carriers, isn't it?
Yes, it depends on the carrier though. For Hawkeroo, I'm still tempted to take the. I'm still tempted to run without the TA just because you can long drop anyways. 8 kilometer torpedo range is quite insane for a carrier, so I try to make use of it.
Yeah, it's really good against stationary targets, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're pretty much guaranteed he'll DCP now. Yep. Are you gonna bomb the Emerald next?
Let's see. I think I'm. Oh yeah, bomb the Emerald.
No. Now you could follow up with a rocket attack to try to set both of them back on fire.
I could. Taking a look at the reserves, yeah. I still had a full complement of rockets and torpedoes, so I was actually debating there for a second. I decided just to take out the torpedoes so I could take out the Cesare anyways.
Yep, I saw that you were reversing, which is a pretty wise decision based off of where the team's coming in.
I had some rather bad experiences when trying to put carriers south of the B caps, so I just keep my carrier on spot, at least for this map.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Cesare just being a better target, Emerald is still an Emerald. Admittedly, he did do pretty well torpedoing the Gneisenau and killing the destroyer, but overall he wasn't that much of a threat, so I decided to go take on Cesare.
Yep, and surprise, surprise, Emerald died. Now you forced out the DCP and the Julio, so if you're lucky, you'll get another another flood.
He might have been distracted by the Exeter over there, so he dodged his torps, and I was able to get mine off no problem.
Now I noticed you don't use your engine boost symbol that much.
I try to conserve it for runs. I'll sometimes use it to get to an area pretty quickly, but I tend to use them just to adjust back and forth during the actual attack run.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm impatient, so I would use mine right now, for example.
And you don't actually always have to zoom in around the battlefield. Sometimes it's a good idea when you're flying to your intended target, just kind of take stock around the what's going on the battlefield and see what your next targets are. So Nicholas was isolated here and pushing on to the Cesare. He was probably not going to be a threat, but I decided, hey, why not just take out the destroyer while we're here? There's
Yep.
no way I'm going to strike the northern group because they're too far out. And Duke York is I didn't see his HP back then, so I was deciding Nicholas is the easiest target to go for.
Not only that, but if you went for the Omaha, that you got the Duke of York back there that could back him up. Oh, it's Rookie Moose. You know him.
Attention, reporting the target position.
Time for the Omaha now?
Mm-hmm.
Taking fire.
Now, instead of lining up in the rear, it looks like you're going for a side-on shot.
Yeah. If going up in the rears is the preferred method, but sometimes I'll just go for the broadside just so I can have, sometimes due to the way the planes exit, and sometimes it's just due to not enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Taking fire.
Hey, War Eagle.
Maintaining present course.
How are you today, sir?
I did want the Omaha dead just because he was on such low HP, but I didn't. But then I saw Duke York take a pretty good hit, so I was like, okay, I'll just go zoom in over there and kill whoever has the lowest HP.
Right. And we see the Omaha got himself killed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, were you
Besides-
wishing you took the torpedo bombers instead?
Not particularly. I mean, it kind of sucks, but it also means that in case something goes wrong, then I still have torpedo bombers to use.
Mm-hmm.
Approaching target.
So against the Duke of York, I just aim for his bridge. That's how you do the most amount of damage. Fires aren't really consistent enough, at least.
Yeah, the British battleships have a pretty large superstructure, so you can take advantage of that.
So once he's down, now it comes down to if I want to take out Scharnhorst, Gneisenau, and maybe see where that Helena or Omaha went, because it's been a while since they were last spotted. Also, since
Mac.
two of their ships were going down or concentrating in B, I decided to actually move my carrier over to C.
And that also makes very good sense. You guys can see that too. He's in the islands, which makes it much harder for him to get spotted and shot at. And the
Well,
Helena
then-
came in to support the Gneisenau.
Mm-hmm. So I saw Helena was at 4k HP, so he would be my next target if my allies didn't kill him. I wanted to wait a little bit because I decided to choose a Scharnhorst, and that fighter there was... The fighter there was annoying, and the fact that Scharnhorst was not didn't come out behind the island also kind of complicated things.
Engaging enemy.
I think in the end I just decided to go for Gneisenau. I got a little bit impatient there, and probably was not a good idea.
Hmm.
We're under attack.
Guys, I'll be right back.
So after this, since Omaha and Helena have no HP, I just take out my rockets and just go kill everyone. Thankfully, the carrier is quite good at taking out low health HP ships. Especially since Omaha has no armor, Helena doesn't have quite much armor either. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to get that much. I'm not going to build up damage, but oh well. Since both the battleships are just going to go down southward, I knew my carrier was not going to be threatened, so I decided to just go take the cap. The Gneisenau was going to be dealt with, so I just torqued the Sharn Horse.
Alright, I'm back. What'd I miss? You got the Helena?
Yep. Well, I got the Omaha. Helena died to my team, and I just decided to focus the Sharn Horse.
We're under attack.
So, very interesting, you know, you're very patient with your use of bombers, and you don't allow yourself to get deplaned, essentially.
Yeah. Rush, it also helped that I was top tier in this match. Well, sorry, mid tier. There was a lot of tier 5 ships, though.
Approaching target.
So, a lot of people do kind of have the problem of not just basically running out of planes. So, I didn't. Besides not having that much AA ships, I also avoided the ones that did have AA, at least as long as I could.
Right.
The Helena, for example, top right corner, I said, you know what? North flank, you guys can do whatever. I'm gonna just go help the B side and in the south side. So I think I'll be more useful there.
Taking fire. Approaching
So at this point, it's pretty much just I go take the cap. I can maybe tickle the ranger a little bit, but otherwise I'm not going to do much damage. Carriers really struggle to damage other carriers, which is really annoying sometimes.
victory is in sight.
I'm kind of thankful that the ranger doesn't have an armored flight deck, so my bombs still do something.
Now, you also had a chance to get your carrier. Well, it looks like you moved up now, but you can try to get in range for a secondary slap fight.
Definitely tried for it. The ranger didn't cooperate though.
There's a question Bullet Justice is asking: Why when you have ships that die, are you still dropping your payload even though they're dead? Why don't you just let the run end and then take your planes back again?
Sometimes I just wanted. I think for the last one, I just want to recall the planes a little bit faster.
Got it.
So, when you use your ordnance, the planes that drop the ordnance are actually, due to how the retreat mechanics work. If you drop your ordnance on something, then the plane will actually retreat a little bit faster. But if you use the F key to retreat, then they have to ascend to a higher altitude before they go back to the carrier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically Wargaming wants you to actually fly your planes out of the AA instead of F being the magic retreat key.
Now, one thing I also want to point out that you did there was you knew the bombers were coming your way, so you launched the plane and immediately launched your summoned fighters to help kill them. And that's something you can do if your carrier is under threat.
I didn't do it very much this game, but you can also use your fighters to spot. It's not quite as effective as before, but it's still something you can consider if you think your team is up to the task of shooting whatever you spot.
Right. Yeah, at the very beginning you didn't do that when you detected that whole group, which is something you could have done. But
Could have done, but at the very beginning, I found that most people just aren't in range, so... not
right,
much-
exactly.
Engaging enemy. Taking fire. Our team is taking the lead.
And unfortunately you pointed out before you could get the kill.
Nope. Well, that was fine. I still got top of the team.
Yes, you did.
Carriers do get stronger later on in the... Like, as the game goes on, the carrier gets stronger. In the beginning, people tend to blob up, and it makes it very hard for planes to get through. But once they become separated, then that's when the carrier is a lot more powerful.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Alright, our next winner is